Now we're going to take a look at the classic Stairway to Heaven, and I expect there's probably quite a few out of there who've already learnt this tune before. I know that I've taught it many times before, but what I'm going to attempt to do for the purpose of this jam with DVD is to try and cut it down a little bit and just give you, as I've said before with other tracks we looked at here, just give you the essential parts. So in some instances when I'm talking through the chord arpeggios, I will literally give you the shape and then just give you the order of the strings, and also then enable you to experiment a little bit and give you a little bit more freedom with the track instead of this is the way it has to be played. Anyway, you'll notice that I'm sticking with my electric guitar because most of my guitars have a piezo bridge fitted, so if I was going to play this song live, I would swap between the acoustic sounds and my electric sounds, and also with the switch in the middle I can blend the two together, which is quite a handy little feature of this particular guitar. I did actually consider bringing my double neck along with me, but I just thought that was being silly. But there are some 12-string parts on there, and obviously Jimmy did play it on a double neck SG live. Anyway, let's crack on, and I'm going to play through the introduction for you, which also forms the basis for the verse progression, and then we'll take a look. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, that's the first figure. We kick off with an A minor chord, which we're just barring across the top 3 strings at the 5th fret and playing 7 on the D string. Now drop the 7 down to 6 on the D string and add your little finger on the top E, so you're playing like a minor major 9. Okay, and the sequence for that, so that's the D and the E string together, then the B, the G and the E. So now we have a C chord, which again is just barring right across the 5th fret from the D string and adding your little finger on the 8th fret of the top E, same picking sequence. Now we play a D over F sharp, bar across the top 3 strings at the 2nd fret, add your 2nd finger on the B string at the 3rd fret and your 3rd finger on the F sharp note on the 4th fret of the D. Play the same picking sequence. Now we have an F major 7th chord, which is 3 on the D, 2 on the G and 1 on the B with an open E. Similar picking here up to that point. Should have played that actually, which is the D and the top E together. B, G, B, E, B, G. Obviously that's not the notes, that's the order of the strings. So one more time. So start off with the D and the E together. B, G, B, E, B, G. 2nd fret A, open G and B, and then an A minor chord, open position. Open A, slide into the 8th fret of the A, then to the 7th fret, and then start the sequence again. But it's ever so slightly different this time round. We start off after the little fill, which is sliding into the 8th fret of the A. We then play open A, D, G, B, and then into the original sequence. Okay, let's take a look at the next section, and I'll play it for you first of all. Here we go. Okay, starts off with C major, and we've got a little climb up to that. Open A, second fret, then third fret, so we settle on the chord. Just arpeggiate across from the A to the B string. Then play a D chord, but play our original picking sequence, which was the D and the E together. Same on the F major 7th. And then we play an A minor chord, but as we play that, we hammer our first finger onto the open B at the first fret and play the G string. So it's the A and the B together, but hammer on. Now a little climb again. C, G. There, similar sequence, just the bottom E and the top E. B, G, E. And then play the D chord, but add your little finger on the top E at the third, and just kind of grab at the chord. So you're going from a sus to a D major. So that sequence again. Round again. Now this time, C, straight across from the A string to the B string, D, from the D to the top E, and then F major 7th. Okay, there's basically one other sequence around this main progression where Jimmy doubles up some of the notes, and I'll play it for you now, and then we'll take a look. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, so that was just the A minor, then our major minor 9. So very similar sequence, play the D and the top E together, but then the B, G, B, E, B, G, and then straight across the C major and back. Same with the D over F sharp. So you're just going from the lowest string to the highest and back. Same with the F major 7th. Tie that note, and again. Right, now we're going to take a look at the next section, and for this I've put my little switch here in the middle, which means that I'm blending both magnetic, i.e. my regular electric sound, with piezo, which is the acoustic, so we get a nice kind of jangly sound. Which, almost gives you the effect of two guitars being played at once. Works great for live and obviously in this environment as well. So I'm going to play the next section for you and then we'll take a look. Here we go. 2, 3. Okay, for that section, we started off by just playing a G chord from the D string. So open D, open G, 3rd fret B. Then an A minor 7th with your little finger on the top E, playing the G note at the 3rd fret. I'm not sure whether or not you should have that open G in there as well, but I kind of like the sound of it. So I'm going to add my own little bit of artistic license here and add that note. Take it away. Then our funny G again. Then a D. Then we have a G triad, which is a D shape, 7 on the G and the top E, 8 on the B. Then a D triad, 7 on the G and B, 5 on the top E. Drop that down a whole tone, 5 on the G and B, 3 on the top E for a C triad, and then back up for D. Now I'm blending, like I said, piezo and electric. it should be done on a 12 string, so you might also experiment maybe adding a bit of chorus in there. I know that that isn't necessarily an effect that was used on the record, but it adds a bit of a... another effect of the sound, almost, thickening it up, because basically what is chorus? It's just detune and delay. So although it's not the same as a 12-string guitar, it adds another dimension to the sound, especially when you're mixing in the piezo. So these are just some of the cheats and some of the ideas that I might use if I didn't want to go out with my huge double-neck Music Man on a gig and I just want to be playing a regular guitar. These are some of the things that I would put into practice to emulate the sound. Okay, here's the next section, which is also used once the drum's kicking as well. So we're nearly at the end of our rhythm section. Etc. Come in with the C chord. Okay, just arpeggiating across with the pick. Then a G over B, which is just 2nd fret A, 3rd fret B. And then an A minor. And as we play the A minor, I actually bring in one of my fingers of my picking hand to get that. Just arpeggiate backwards and forwards across that chord, but it just enables me to get that little hammer on that, in there. So next chord. So it's C to G over B, then an F, regular first position F chord, A minor, round again. This is the next sequence. Okay, for that, C major, arpeggiate right across from the A to the B. Then a G major chord, but we're starting on the B note, so you only have to play the 2nd fret of the A. And then we're into our section again. Okay, here's the next little rhythm section, and I'm just going to play out of that last section into our new section so you can hear how it works. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have a little D major, well D sus2 actually to start off with. So you're just playing 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B. Then add your 2nd finger on the top E to give you D major, and then a semitone high to give you D sus4. So. Now that chord there is a C sus2, 3rd fret A, open D, 3rd fret B, but then we're adding a sharp 11 on the top. So it's the 4 chord of the G major scale. It's a Lydian chord if you want to get all technical, but we won't. So then we're adding that note, that F sharp, take it away. Okay, back to the D figure. same C again. Just arpeggiate down, then play the second fret of the A string. Should have left that F sharp there, I just put it in time. So that's, it's like a G major 7th over B. So second fret A, third fret B, and second fret top E. You can hear if I put the root note in. And then to finish off, play the second fret A, pull off to open A, and play the third fret at the bottom E. Now that will sound slightly higher on the record because it's done on a 12-string electric and those notes are quite exaggerated there, so it almost sounds like that, but you're actually playing that figure there. Okay, there's one other little piece of rhythm guitar that I want to show you. I'm going to turn my chorus off now and take the piezo out, so I'm just back to a regular electric sound. Must point out I'm using a kind of coil tap setting on this guitar, trying to get a slightly thin sort of sound. And you can hear how, you know, using the volume control of the guitar with a valve amp really does change the tone quite a lot. And you can hear when I cut the volume out, it does clean things up slightly. The other rhythm figure that I want to show you is very straightforward. It's just an A minor to a G major to an F major. Okay, and you all know the bit I mean. This comes in after the guitar solo, although this is the chord progression that the solo is played over. So it's I believe there's some little figure as well, which outlines the F. When F major, not F minor. When you play that F major chord, you play F, slide into A, so that's 1 to 5 on the A string, on the E string, 3 on the A, 7, 5. So that's the little section at the tail end of the track. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the guitar solo, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this DVD, this is the other solo that we're going to have to learn in its entirety, just purely because it's such a melodic solo. It's one of those solos that you can really sing. So anyway, I'm going to play through the first section for you, and then we'll take a look. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, start off by bending up the 7 on the G, upper whole tone, and then 5 on the top E, 8 to 5 on the B, 7, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 7, 5 on the G, 7, 5 on the D, and then 8 on the A string, just outlining the F chord. Slide into 10 on the B and play 8 on the top E. Then bend 13 up a whole tone on the B. Back down 10 on the B and then slide 12 up to 14 on the G. 13 to 15 on the B. Pull off back to 13. 14, 12 on the G. 14 on the D. And then 12 to 14 on the G. Okay, here's the next section. 3, 4. Okay, starts off again by bending 7 up to the 9 on the G and come down. The timing of that's quite important actually. If we come out of so you kind of come in 1, so bend 7 up to 9, play 5 on the top E, 8, 5 on the B, 7, 5 on the G, 1, 7 on the D, then 7, 5 on the G, 7, 5 on the D. Better play through it just to make sure I haven't added or missed any bits out. 1, that's the last bit, 7 on the A, 5 to 7 on the D. Now we play 5 on the G twice, 3 times. Then an open G. Just comes straight down the scale. So that's 5 on the top E, 8, 5 on the B, 7, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, and then 5, 7, 5 on the G, 7, 5, 7, 5, all on the D, and then 8 on the A. Slide into an F major triad. So that's 7 on the D, well 5 to 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 6 on the B, 7, 5 on the G, 7 on the D. So there we slide 7 up to 9 on the G, 8 on the B, 8, 10 on the B, 8 on the top E, then that's 10 up to 12 on the top E, back down, 8, 10, 8, and then bend 15 up a whole tone on the top E, back down, 15, 13, and then that's bend 15 on the B, up a whole tone, back down, 13 on the B, and 14 on the G. Well, I'm going to play up to that point for you in its entirety. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're now into a real classic Jimmy Page section, which is a little repeating lick, which is... (13) on the B, 15 up a whole tone, release, pull off to 13, and then play 14 on the G. The final tone, we play 13 on the B string and bend 15 up a whole tone on the top E. And then, so after we've bent that 15 up, that's 12 on the top E, 15 on the B, 12 on the top E, 15, 13 on the B, and 14 on the G. Back to 13 on the B, 15, 13, 14 on the G, 13 on the B, 15 up a whole tone, 15 on the top E, and then release 15, pull off to 13, and then 14 on the G. So that whole section. Okay, we've got a few little incidental licks now which are between the little vocal passage, kind of a question and answer thing. Here's the first lick. Okay, bend 19 up a whole tone on the G string, then 20 on the B, 17 on the top E, back to 20, and then release that bend on the G string, pull off to 17, 19, 17, 19 on the D, 17 on the G, and then bend 19 up a whole tone on the G. Next lick, I'll play it for you. Okay, we play 14 on the G, we bend up a tone and a half. Okay, up again, back down, 12, 14, 12. Now bend 12 up a whole tone. Okay, here's the next lick. Okay, for that lick, we bend 10 up by 2 whole tones. So we're bending F up to A. Then 10, 9, 7, 5, 7, bend up, release, pull off to 5, and then 7 on the D. Okay, and here's the final lick. Okay, for that little lick, just bar your first finger across the 17th fret of the B, play B, and then strike the top E at the 20th, pull off to 17 and play B. And then we just simply bend the 20th fret up to the 22nd. Okay, there's some incidental licks at the end, some string bends, which are played against that descending chord progression we looked at a little while ago, so feel free to experiment with those. And hopefully I've managed to give you enough information in this rather condensed little lesson on Stairway to Heaven.